This conference will now be recorded.
And the more I learn about Steve Jobs, the more I hate them. So anyway, this is everybody that's on the call. Thanks for being here. We're just going to talk a little bit about we're in the what would you say the nascent the beginnings of this ohshitidied.com marketing initiative, and we're being offensive all day long. So if you get offended easily, sorry about that. But I've got Eric Boling here. He's the mastermind behind all of this, and Sherilyn, who's developed, who's the brilliant mastermind behind all of the drip stuff that we do here. And Dwayne is familiar, I think, Sherilyn, with Retire Village and stuff that you did. But
Okay.
this is just gonna blow Retire Village way away from the rest of it. So,
Yeah.
can you see my screen? Can you see the oh
Not
shit I
yet.
died? Okay, so share. There we go. So entire screen. Okay, okay. There we go. Can you see it now?
No.
Nope.
Why?
We
There we
just
go.
see each other.
There
There
we
we go.
go.
There we go. Okay, we're just on a little delayed response. That's me moving slow this morning. Okay, so we're on the ohshitidied.com website. Eric is here. He did give a background. If you heard the podcast, Dwayne, the podcast where he talked about how he came up with this and why it's working, but it might benefit us just, Eric, to say, how is it working now? Let's bring us up to speed with this thing.
Yeah. So initially to be different. At the end of the day, when we define marketing, um, maybe marketing slash advertising, however you want to describe it, the whole objective is to gather attention, good, bad, or ugly. When you're attention is what I wanted. So, there's only so many sterile advertising ideas, and I poke fun people all the time. Hey, the couple walking down the beach or sitting in a chair because their life is all put together and they're safe is boring. Nobody pays attention to it. So we came up with this idea. Actually, my wife helped me get. I originally was just shitidied.com. Now she's like, but oh shit, I died.com. So did that. Put a little corny video, 40-second corny video together. Started blowing up on social media. I got like 26,000 views the first 36 or 40 hours, and never kind of looked back. And now we're people. I've got people that current agents that are taking this in multiple ways. They have not, and Sherilyn is in charge of kind of the how we're going to expand this with different people using different, clone sites. I don't know the definition of that, Sherilyn. Clone site.
Strategic
Yeah.
strategic expansion using what mirror sites. Well, you
So,
might have
but
heard it called mirror sites.
And
Yeah.
but
and they'll technically morph a little bit. They can
sure,
they can expand to fit the agent, in their capabilities. So
sure,
you don't even really clone might not even be the same, but similar. I
sure.
would say a me
Okay,
too kind of an
perfect.
approach.
Learn a new word every day. So I've had agents already using this that have worked with me for years and years and years. And I mean, for example, so our primary client with this is meant to obviously generate a lot of business, but the initial product, which is the accidental death product, is an extremely easy product for either a new agent or certainly a new client to understand. I mean, you die in an accident, it pays. It's relatively inexpensive compared to an all-inclusive life insurance policy, but we market this to, I think, considering what I like to consider our ideal client, which is the self-employed or small business owner. It gives us a lot more options to do an ancillary sale afterwards, so we can lead with this. So who are we talking about? Long truck drivers. That's our number one client with this product is truck drivers, independent truck drivers. Number two, motorcycle enthusiasts like myself. I love to ride motorcycles, but we all know it's a pretty dangerous hobby or sport. But anybody, people that have maybe higher risk jobs and or other high risk um, hobbies and things like that. So that's who we're marketing to, right? And we've since seeing that, that's a good entry level product, like I said. So you go in, you make the accidental sale, and then because most of these people, like I said, not I would say probably 2/3 of our clients for this product fall into that self-employed and or small business owner. So they have to go on the marketplace and buy their own health coverage. Well, we can either write or refer a really good health plan and sharing that. So if you don't want to, so Dwayne, if you weren't, really like myself, I'm not really fluent in health insurance, but I don't want to leave money on the table. So I'll, say, hey, listen, would love to, would you be opposed to quoting some health insurance? I think we could probably put you in a better product and certainly save you some significant money. So that would be our second sale, whether you write it, and the commissions are really, really nice. So whether you choose to write it or you want to refer it to one of our health specialists and do a 50-50 split, that's awesome. So you're not leaving money on the table. Then our third sale, if we're able to legitimately save that client some money, hey, we can save them $600-700 a month. Now we have an excuse to go back and talk about maybe an IUL or a debt-free for life plan or something like that. And there's some other smaller products that we can add in off after that. We don't ever want to tidal wave sell somebody. So this is kind of
Sure we do. Sure we do.
No, you don't. I tell you,
No,
from
I
looking
know.
at persistency over 15 years, you do not. You want somebody
No, I
to
know.
cancel their stuff? Don't. You walk in there and, oh, we're going to sell a $50 accident policy. Great. And all of a sudden they're spending, $2,800 a month.
Yeah.
They're gonna cancel. But anyway, so that's it. So it's had a lot of success. And so and like I sent both of y'all the little licensing agreement we're going to do, whether that's if somebody participates in the
Mhm.
website program or not. It allows them to do lots of stuff, not just use the website, but like I have agents that will go out to these weekend motorcycles events and stuff and generate a ton of business just using a QR code that links them back to the website, and that's a lead generator right there. And I've got
That was my appeal at first, Dwayne. I just like the idea of having something you could do for a fun little event, that wasn't too
um,
complex.
and we can build, so certainly my tech skills are rudimentary at best, but the money so I have one agent in Tucson, Arizona, who just threw a couple flyers together. We got a QR code that linked back to the website, and everything that came in for Arizona was his, and he's written, I don't know, $30,000-40,000 in probably the span of 2 months. Just with, I'm talking a fold up card table, nothing professional, a fold up card table, a bowl full of candy, and a $50 Harley Davidson gift card that they drew at a little. It's not a big motorcycle rally. This was just like a weekend family kind of thing, So he went there and spent a day and a half, Friday night and then pretty much all day Saturday, and booked a ton of appointments. Got 175, 180 leads, something like that, and it
Yeah,
still continues to.
180. Yeah,
Yeah, and it
these are
cost them
crazy.
literally just about nothing.
Yeah.
Like I said, total altogether maybe spent $75, and that was just bouncing off the main, the website I built. And when somebody fills in, that's just a jot form, and everything that came back for Arizona, I just sent right back to him. Um, but anyway, so that's kind of how it took off, and I think we're now really ready to scale this thing up and
Good.
add a lot of value to agents that want to participate.
Are you seeing mine up there, guys? My Tammy dot oh shit I died. So no?
Yeah, I
Now
see
we
that.
see it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the deal is, these are people. A lot of the people that are watching this are people who have expressed at least an interest in this program. And so Sherilyn, explain kind of, because the missing piece to all this that I saw right away was having the ability to license this, and so that people can use it, right? Because Eric would tell you that the people who go to these rallies, they want the merchandise. And that was crazy to me. They want Sid. Sid is the monkey, right? They want t-shirts, right? And what were you
Yeah.
saying about stickers, Eric?
We're asking for stickers, hats. This is stuff I'm not, I didn't even consider it. And to be honest, I was in that business for 17 years, long ago. So I probably put together some sort of Etsy. I don't want to fool with it. I just don't. I don't have time or desire, but I'll put together some kind of online store that where everything is pretty
Don't worry, Sherilyn and I got you covered. So Sherilyn, now talk about what attracted you to this and how you think this is going to help agents with the biggest thing that I think the biggest challenge. And Dwayne knows this because he has been on millions of my webinars, and he knows my biggest thing is getting found in the sea of just continuous sameness that is the insurance world. So, so what do you think?
Well, as you know, we've dealt with the dry and boring ongoing email marketing for retirement planning for uh, probably a decade now, which is scary to think of. And, that there's a place for that, certainly. And the main thing that you can pull when you're doing email marketing is top of mind awareness. When it comes to retirement planning, you're talking about financial jargon, you're talking about taxes, you're talking about Social Security, and there is interest. There's interest in that, but you can't forward an email to your friends about retirement planning and have them forward that email to their friends about retirement planning. So the viral aspect of something like just the idea of being irreverent about death and having this silly video that, it's kind of like the Darwin Awards when you share that kind of stuff with your friends and then you kind of hook it into this is an insurance agent that is going to be fun to talk to, and it's going to be a great icebreaker, and you don't have to think about it in the normal doom and gloom way. It actually, I think, eliminates a lot of hesitancy. And I'm just assuming this, Eric, because of my experience with, the retirement planning field. But when I see people just sit up and take notice like this, I see the traction that you're getting. It just seems to be a game changer to me. And the viral emails, my husband and I worked in a completely different space. I guess it was satiric news, but that stuff has a life of its own. It takes on a life of its own, and I've never seen it in the retirement planning phase until I looked at what you're doing with the accidental death.
Yeah,
And
that's
so that's
exactly.
perfect. Yeah, there's just so much you can do with this. And again, this is just the cornerstone, right? Because Eric is a full service brokerage. So he has a good idea. Remember, he said about leaving money on the table. So the other aspect of this that we both liked is the fact that nobody's an expert in everything. I mean, there's a lot of agents out there that think they are, that think they know everything about everything. But generally speaking, you have one or two areas of expertise, and then you wish that you could sell Uncle Johnny whatever policy. Maybe you wish that you were doing commercial P&C or whatever, but you just don't have that expertise. But you don't want to give that client away to somebody that you don't know, like, and trust, and who might not give you a spiff or a piece of the commission. So he's got a really good referral network internally, so that whatever, I love that, the concept of the $7,500 client. Can you explain that a little bit, Eric? Just the idea.
Yeah, so and that's a PDF that we can certainly circulate to anybody, but that's kind of the idea because I mean, let's face it, you're not going to retire to Hawaii selling just accidental death, right? That's just a lead-in. Now it's a very easy product to sell, but
Yeah.
it is meant to be the lead sale, the initial sale. So we took
It's your
that.
icebreaker.
Yeah, so you're going to make maybe anywhere between 350 to 500 bucks on the accidental sale. On the if you are then looking at writing health insurance, if you're going to write that yourself, you might make as much as $3,000. If you're splitting it, you may make anywhere between, depending on the plan, obviously, anywhere between a low of maybe 800 to 1,700, 1,800 if you do a split, if you're referring it. Obviously, most of us that are in the life side can handle an IUL properly, and we've got the channels to help. But even if, so a good IUL with F&G or some of these carriers that we use, there's another probably $3,000 to $4,000, $5,000 if you're running it yourself. If you're splitting it, obviously half that. And we've got some referral stuff with an affiliate thing with a warranty, home and auto warranties. We've got Health Ninja, which is a hospital bill. I guess negotiate. They'll negotiate big hospital bills and stuff like that. Not a ton of money there. A couple $100 on the home warranty, and like you'll make like $10 a month on the Health Ninja. My point is that we can continue to add sales, and we're working on some others. So if you take one client who is our ideal client, like I have a client who is actually a long haul trucker and makes about almost $250,000 a year. He's never home, but has a family, but he can afford the products. These people, like, I think sometimes you look at the motorcycle community and people are like, motorcycles, they're a bunch of, let me tell you, you've got the weird looking crazy guy that's tattooed and all that stuff. Nothing wrong with that, but these people have money. Now, see, when you go to a Harley shop it's a family oriented thing, husband and wife thing, that's their lifestyle. That's their big hobby. And you're sitting on a $40,000 machine, and they typically, hey, you talk to them, they own a heating and air company or something like that. They have money. And so they can afford to, they have to buy their own health insurance, and they are interested in an IUL maybe for one or both, or even the children or grandchildren. So there's just a million ways to make money here, and we're going to continue to add, like I said, add products as we move forward.
Okay, so Sherilyn, explain how this drip is coming together and how we're going to use this with Oh Shit I Died, and perhaps customize it in the future. Or what are your plans for this thing? What are we doing now? Because this is mine that you're looking at right now. This is I was the first mirror site. And so
so the basic platform, we're going to set up the same kind of structure that Eric created. If it isn't broke and it's actually working, we don't want to try to change too many things with this system. So we basically set up the same kind of site that Eric had created. We have the chat feature. We have the request a quote feature, which is, you can do these in different ways, but I really like the way that Eric set his request a quote up, because you ask for their name, then you ask for what they're interested in. They're pretty much committed when they get to the, it's a 4-step process. And by the time they fill everything out, you're capturing that every single time they fill in the field in the dashboard of your system. So if they just partially fill that form out and then they come back, it remembers them. Once you initiate a chat with Tammy, it knows who you are. And so and then if you want to set up a calendar, schedule some meeting with her on the calendar, all that stuff is captured in our platform. So instead of Eric having to sort through with every single lead that comes in through his page, with the different agents he's working with, you get your own, we can generate a QR code if you're doing something like that can go straight to your website, and all the people that go there are the leads that you capture, rather than Eric having to go through the business of everybody in the state of Arizona, or say that he's got 2 agents in different areas of Arizona, and then they have to, you slice and dice the territory, or you're basing it on what event somebody is planning in what area, here and there. It will get complicated leveraging this brand at a certain point in time. And so this makes sense. You make the investment, you market however you're doing. We set you up with a way to, bring people into your own site. As soon as they get there, we're tracking them. We're watching, how they show up. We're remembering. I fill out Tammy's chat, and now every time I go to Tammy's site, it says, "Hi, Sherilyn. How can I help you?" The little monkey head at the bottom of the chat. So it's really just the little platform that we've got is a little bit different than just that outgoing email broadcast type of system. We're trying to blend in text messaging. There's a lot of regulation now. I had
Yeah.
applied for a text for Tammy, and I actually got, they've misinterpreted us as debt reduction because of something. And that's not really a package that Eric sells, but they kind of misunderstood. And so now I'm having to kind of go through the process. But at some point, we'll be able to get it down to the point where when somebody has this website, we'll be able to email to people that we capture. Yeah, we'll do a twice a month email process that goes out just like a regular drip that a lot of agents are used to using. But the reporting is really interesting. It might be maybe a little bit too much information for people because you can just literally see everywhere they went, how many times they showed up. You can, from the back end, you can email them a response. We can tie this into social media. So if somebody direct messages you on Facebook, if you happen to have a Facebook page or want one, if you have registered your company with Google locations, and somebody messages you from that, we can capture that through this little tool. So it's a little bit more comprehensive than how people are used to using their marketing. And we're just feeling our way through, the expansion of it right now.
I have a problem here, right here.
Yeah.
I'm just finding a problem right here. See date of birth on there?
Uh-huh.
Well, you
Yeah,
can't just type it. You can't just type it in. And there's no way somebody's going to go back in this calendar like me, that's ancient of days, and go
Okay.
back.
yeah,
Yeah, we can fix that. We can
Yeah,
fix that.
yeah. Okay,
yeah.
good.
Tammy, if you click on the year, it should give you a dial down for year.
Oh,
Okay,
Yeah.
it
see what
should
I'm
on the
saying?
yeah,
Yeah,
but
there you go.
it doesn't. It
And
doesn't
then
on. You're
yeah, so
still
you just
got it.
choose the year and then the month and the date. So once you've got the
Oh,
Okay,
year, then you
Dwayne's
can
got
set.
it
yeah, but
down.
it's not as it's yeah. Dwayne's got it down, but the thing is, I don't know that anybody else will figure that out. Maybe they're not stupid like me, but do
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Just the average person's probably going to want to type it in there. Okay, wait a
right.
minute now. Let's just do that. Okay, so now does it populate though?
Yeah, just
Oh,
click a day. Just click a day once you've got that month and year.
I knew I
While she's
invited
doing
you in
that,
for a
can I
reason.
ask, can you tie this to Calendly or to Google Calendars?
The calendar system that we have ties into Google Calendars easily. We have to use Zapier if we do the Calendly tie-in. So it's a little bit more of a, integration, but it is possible to do either, depending on what you use now. The Google one was uh, pretty straightforward, wasn't it, Tammy, when you integrated it? I think I had to do something after you linked them.
I don't know, but I don't know how to make my calendar expand so that I can put my birthday in there. I'm still having trouble with this.
Well, just pick the like one of the first dates, 1, 2, 3, or 4. So
Yeah, but
there you go.
oh, it's not. But
Just
I
for
want the.
example.
Oh, okay, all right. Anyway, that calendar should pop up completely though, so you can just. It's just not as. It's a
I
little
think
clunkier.
it has to do with if it's down toward the bottom of your screen and you pop something up, computers aren't 100% smart, so we always have to work around them. We always assume that they're smarter than us, and they totally are not. They're machines, they're robots, and we barely uh, we're much more flexible than they are. So
Okay, I did it. So this is what happens
yay.
when you finish it. So what happens now?
Once that happens, I'm not sure if you get notified, Tammy. You should, but I might not have had that automation set up yet. So we're if you had the dashboard pulled up that you can log into, you will see that
Yes.
contact shows up in your dashboard as a new contact. We're getting the campaigns together now, just getting the creative emails together and so forth for the ongoing. But basically, you get that request. You should get a notice, Tammy. But considering I had started with you, it might not have the actual notification going to you right away via email. But I thought we had talked about that.
It's really pretty cool that you can go into your dashboard and immediately reach out to that person. That's the cool thing about it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other thing is
set up the notification and test it. That's kind of we're probably a little bit too focused on the dashboard.
I know. I love my dashboards. So so we should mention that the carrier for this product is Foresters, by the way. So if you're already contracted with Foresters, you got to let us know because there could be some issues there. I just wanted to make sure I remembered that. Is Eric still around? He turned off his microphone.
Yes. Yeah. I know.
Okay. Eric, now talk about now that we got the overview of this. Talk about the process that you said there's a couple of things people have to participate in this program, and how does the process go? What's going to happen when they tell you, yes, Eric, I'm interested?
Okay, so we want to know a handful of things. So we'll probably do just a brief call. So whether if it's agents under you, Tammy, this is something you'll do. If they're direct to me and any other manager, those people will do those screening calls. We're looking for several things. Number one, carrier. So they have to be able to contract. We have chosen to partner with Foresters, and their product is Prepared To. They're the most comprehensive accidental death policy out there. They're the most profitable. They actually pay about 20% higher commission than anybody else out there. They have more return of premium states than any other carrier. So bottom line, and they come with all the member benefits and stuff like that. So we want to make sure that they are able to contract with us with Foresters. If they're not, that is a knockout. It's the only way. Here's, and I'll be fully transparent. There's no monetization with me outside of just a simple overrides. And the lion's share of these overrides in the next year or so are going to be dumped right back into marketing, new videos, more content, all that kind of stuff, right? As we kind of build towards something really big. We would also like them to be able to contract with Philadelphia American for our health. Manhattan Life is we don't really write a lot of that, but that would be our secondary for, and de-leeuw. Those are the three health carriers. I would really like to have them contract with F&G Life. They are one of the better IULs that we write with, but you don't have to. As long as we get that initial, it doesn't matter to me. F&G, we write a lot with Lafayette Life on the Debt Free for Life, but as long as they can contract with Foresters, I'm happy. That's it. I think the bulk of the money is going to be made on referring or writing the health and the IULs. And then, but there's no excuse why we can't sell an absolute ton of accidental.
And Debt for Life, by the way, is awesome. It's an awesome program. Yep. It's an awesome, whole life programs, and they do a lot of work with Lafayette. And I've worked with Lafayette Life before. They're a really awesome carrier. They're picky. They're picky, but they're all picky now.
They're all picky. They're Meritas, all.
So what happens is when you get contracted, then at that point.
So here we go. So once that deal is done, right? We figure out if they want to move forward, we'll get them contracting. And Tammy, I'll walk you through how to enter somebody in today. It's a two-step process. It's pretty simple. We have staff that will make sure that their contracting goes through, and it's pretty seamless. So they'll get a contracting packet, be able to upload license and driver's license copy, banking information, all the standard stuff you get. Nothing weird.
It's laborious.
Exactly. You will then also receive the one-page licensing agreement. There's no gotchas there. It's literally no cost to be able to use this. And then we will, Sherilyn will kind of be in charge of the website stuff. So once it goes through us, then we can put them in contact Sherilyn.
Now, Sherilyn, tell them about the costs for this initially.
Uh,
So there is a cost associated with the drip system. Obviously, there's a lot of
Of
work
course.
involved in this. So
Right. So the initial package is the website setup that's yours. So it'll be yourname.ohshitidied.com. Our email goes through a slightly different email. There's the question of having shit in the email address, of course. And then it's also always good to separate what your bulk email tool is from your website address, just in case somebody makes a mistake and downloads a big list and does something spammy, which we won't do. But if we're starting to send out a whole lot of these things and we might offend one human being, there could be repercussions, and we don't want that to reflect back on, anybody else's system. So we're separating this out, doing a lot more setup work than we normally would for something that's kind of a, some of these standard template packages that the agents will get that, have, when I was working with Retire Village, the email address was, that, and the website address was the same thing, and there were no variability. You didn't have anything that you could put up there except for your, logo and your contact information, fill in the blanks. This is a little bit more flexible. So if you are, wanting to, like I said, integrate with social media, or, you've got Calendly, or you've got, Google Calendar, this calendar, we want to use this because it captures the information and sets it up into your lead system. But we also want to integrate with your calendar because we don't want you, overbooking yourself or having that kind of a difficulty. So this has a little bit more integrative approach. So $99 setup, $129 a month. That'll at least cover the emails and the website. We'll probably see other bells and whistles, the easy integrations. We're just going to throw those in there. People want to start doing things like marketing through Facebook or Google or what have you. That's going to be a little bit of a step up as we, explore those possibilities. But these first agents that we start working with, we just want to see what's going on and try to, meet the needs and develop the packages with you. So we'll have an incentive to, keep the additional costs low, keep things moving forward that way. And it'll be like a week to get your website package set up. After that, we want to start sending out emails based on when somebody submits to you rather than just sending out a big blast all at once. So we're going to take this different approach to kind of moving people down a path. So once we get you set up and we start adding contacts into your system, you'll start seeing those emails go out probably within the first 15 to 30 days.
hey, I have a question from somebody that had emailed me this question before, Sherilyn. Will we be able to upload our current contacts into this system so that we can let them know we're doing Oh Shit, I Died?
We can work on that. We'll probably do it. It depends on how many that you bring in. If you've got less than 100 contacts, we can load them all up at once after we validate them. If you are doing more than that, we'll probably phase them in so that we can onboard them in a kind of a phased approach. But yes, we can import contacts. You should never have to have 500 different outreach efforts. It's better to have a single one. So we want to meet that need.
And then here's another question. This one was for Eric. Eric, if I'm already with foresters, can I still participate if I'm willing to switch my contracts over.
Yes. If you can, as long as they're in our hierarchy, we can do that. We can do that. So it depends on the IMO, FMO, or however. Foresters does not contract direct with any agent, so they are definitely with an FMO or IMO, master agency of some sort. If they're allowed to move their contract, not a problem.
Not a problem. Okay, so you don't have any problems with them working with other carriers.
No.
For the other lines of insurance, but
I mean, we'd love to have them over here, obviously, but
right. But if they can't move the contracts, you're not going to slap them around, right?
no,
Only
no,
foresters. Only
not at all.
foresters is the one.
Not at all.
Okay.
And I really, really wholeheartedly believe that the because of who our client is, I think we're going to sell/refer a ton of health insurance, ton of it. And
I do too. Yeah, I do too.
The overrides and the margins on that side are really, really, really good. I mean, far better than life on the life side.
Another question. I guess this would be for Sherilyn. Sherilyn, but you just saw me do this, so they probably answered this question. If I already have a URL I want to use, I can redirect to this website, correct?
Yeah, if you have registered a domain name and you want to use that, we can do it two different ways. We can either set up your own domain name. I think the Oh Should I Died brand is kind of effective. So what we'd probably do is set you up with like first name, last name, ohshitidied.com, and then allow you to use your alias for your website address. In that case, if you have like an email address through that website and it's only an alias, especially if you've already been using it, you probably don't want to do bulk email out of that either. You probably want to just make sure that you keep it super clean. So I'd probably still register you with an email address at ohshitidied.com. So this outgoing messages could be set up, but we can tie things together so that all that stuff is displayed for you. And if you're not happy with the way it works out, we can modify it. It's just the way these email companies and the search engines work. We just want to make sure to keep you positioned in the best way possible. And sometimes that means having multiple, names that you go by.
Because if your reputation is really important, if you're sending out all these emails, you want people to open them. The other thing is, Eric, I think his approach using live events is what really, really excited me. This is such a great way to jumpstart your database. So so my thought is this: you do a couple of live events, maybe 2 or 3 in a year, build up a nice database, and then start putting it through for a drip, and it will be such a better. You know what I mean? You'll be able to. Will you have any customization options on these, Sherilyn? For example, like, hey, John, I met you at the Harley convention in Nevada last year. Will you be able to do it like that?
We could do some onboarding, but I think Eric's agent that did the QR code that went right to Eric's website.
Yep.
We can do a QR code for each of our agents. We can generate that so that it'll, you just put your little camera on the code and it'll open up your phone's browser, take you directly to that website, and you can just start a chat. Say start a chat with me, and we'll set you up on our system. So we'll send you back that stuff, or you can complete the quote request right now if you want to. That would instantly get them tied into the drip marketing, and they just kind of be going that way. Now, if you collected a whole bunch of emails and you were going to onboard them, I do think a customized, initial email would be really smart.
That would be a good idea. So, Eric, how long does it take to write one of these? You told me one time that you had a gal that went out to an actual event and wrote business right there. So
Yes.
what does that look like? How
Here's
fast does
well,
this?
here's the thought process. So that was a very small event. We're talking like less than 100 people. So I want you to, so just to put things in perspective. So Brian, my agent in Tucson, went almost no preparation. He went out and talked to the Harley people on Thursday, and they told him, yeah, well, come on back tomorrow. We had done nothing. So he literally was running to Kinko's to try to put the flyer together. I gave him a QR code and all that kind of stuff. So to put things in perspective, that event only had, they said maybe between 350 and 500 people for the entire weekend go through. All right. And so he sold it. I know for a fact within a month he had sold over 18,000 in premium from that, and got like I said earlier, like between 170 and 180 leads, something like that. So he has still not even gone through that. But to put things in perspective, that was free. Because the more they liked having vendors there because it draws more attention. Like it looks like a bigger event. But for the stuff that we've already bought personally, so and keep in mind that was nothing with some flyers, some candy, and a card table basically. But these events, and there are hundreds of them, the bigger events, like right here where I'm at in the Panhandle of Florida, they've got Thunder on the Beach at Panama City that brings in over 250,000 people through a 3-day event. And guess what they want to charge me for a 10 by 10 square, basically
250 bucks.
$280 for that one. The highest
That's
one is
great.
Daytona Beach with is 475.
Oh my God, you could pay, as Sherilyn
One
does, you could pay
now,
that for one lead.
exactly. So here's what now I have not done one of these big events myself, but I will be doing them this spring and summer and into the fall, more summer and fall than spring. But um, that is a lead generating thing, meaning I can't sit there with thousands of people come through. And we may do little like cups or something to give away, or there'd be something there, right? With
Yeah.
with maybe the monkey on one side and the website and then the QR code, whatever. People like free stuff. But my point is, we will have the ability. I'll have somebody on site that can write the app. That app literally takes less than 8 or 9 minutes typically to write if they have all their information. There's no health questions. It's literally like name information, beneficiary information, contact information, bank information, and that's it. And then they're going to choose obviously the premium amount and stuff like that. So we'll be able to do that on site. But the idea is to gather a crap ton of leads from people just coming through. And people aren't going to go to these events to sit down and write insurance right there. They're not. Maybe one out of 300 will do it. But so that's my point. It's going to be a fantastic, and there'll be discounts on if somebody actually wants to do like I'm doing to get the actual, big customized oh shit I died tent, flash tablecloth, all that promotion, so it's really cool looking. There's companies out there I've already talked to that'll give them like a 10 or 15% discount on that.
Perfect.
We'll have some sort of gear to wear if you're, and by the way, so these logos will be made available to anybody, even if somebody doesn't choose to do the website and just wants to come over. That licensing agreement gives them access to the logo. So if they want to go out and get some hats made themselves or sweatshirts or whatever, we'll be able to do that. But so I think the live events are again, anytime you're out in front of people is a good thing. We can sit here and try to drip and all this kind of stuff, and that's great, and it will generate some really good results. I'd love to see people get 25, 30, 50 sales a month out of this thing done properly, or even leads, and that would be a success. Think about this. At 129 a month plus 99, that is, if somebody just sold 3 or 4, depending on the size of the accidental policies, a year, that pays for that.
Yeah.
Now, that obviously wouldn't include any Facebook marketing and stuff like that, but just the maintenance of the site and the initial cost. I think that's unbelievable compared to some of the stuff that I'm involved in now. We're talking, 4 or 5.
I can say that it's unbelievable after some of the stuff I've sold over the years.
Yep.
I mean,
So,
Sherilyn and I have both been in lead generation, and we can tell you it's expensive.
Yep. So I love it. I think the people that are willing to kind of go all out and again, the cost to do some of these live events, they want you there. I mean, I've had to turn some down personally that I've booked, and I've get email, hey, if you change your mind, we'll cut you half price, because there's nobody else there at these events like us. The only thing that would come close, there's some lawyer groups that represent motorcycle people. There's like 2 or 3 of those.
Yeah.
And that's it. Most everything else is merchandise or food or something like that. So they want us there because we're new, we're different. We're colorful. Look at that. Uh, the logos and it's crazy. You know, but
And
it's all
Dwayne, I'm doing my first live event with soon. And you know what else, Eric? I just thought of some of these guys are going to get together and do it with a team
yeah.
of oh shit I died
I
people.
think you need that for something. Obviously, the larger
You
events,
do.
I'm planning on having at least 3 or 4 people with me.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. So if you have an agent, like for me, when I do this, I don't have time to write 1,000 to contact 1,000 leads or whatever. But I have agents that I have in my agency now that I'll just do a split app with them. Hey, here's 200 leads from this event. Go work them, and we'll do a 50-50 split.
Boy, I'd love to say this. You can tell all the people that are on this that have known me for years, Eric, know that I had to get my license out of mothballs to
Mhm.
do this. I have always said I will never, ever, ever sell insurance again. And this has brought me back out into the fray. So it's like I didn't even know what a national producer number was because I was so no, seriously, because
Yeah.
guess what? I worked for an agency. I didn't need one, right? I mean, I worked for an actual P&C agency, so nobody ever asked me for that. And I'm learning all this new stuff and this terminology that these agents are throwing around. I'm like, okay, I don't know what that means. So I'm getting back into it. So it's just like I'm brand new again. It's just like I'm brand new to the business.
Well,
So yeah, between the three of us, we are going to roll with this. And I
let
thank you guys for,
let me add one last thing, and then I've got to go myself.
yeah, I know, me too.
Um, you can make a ton of money. I mean, you really can. We could sell a ton of money, even if you never did anything beyond the accidental sale. If I think we have people now that are selling 15, 20 of these things a month, and they're not even really trying. It's just coming to it. And here's the other thing, and now I don't know how long this will last, so don't let me put words in Forrester's mouth. But Forrester's also has a quarterly bonus based on sales. So if you hit $30,000 in sales each quarter, they're going to send you 18% cash
Wow.
bonus. So that's like I can't do the math, but call it $4,300. And it's scaled down. So if you don't quite hit that, I think the minimum is 10, and you might get like a 5% bonus, but it scales all the way up to 18% if you'd hit $30,000 in a quarter. Now, again, that may not last past this quarter, but it was all last year, and so far I've seen nothing that they're discontinuing that. So
Take your test, Sherilyn. Take your test. Come on. But the big thing is also having Sherilyn is really our secret weapon. Even Eric hasn't quite figured out the the extent of this because she's hands down the best email marketer I've ever known in my 30 years of marketing, and is absolutely brilliant in so many ways. So that's really our secret weapon that nobody's going to be able to beat us on that end. So I want you guys to do what you need to do. Now, the first step, of course, if you haven't already, is to fill out the form that I sent you, if I sent you here. And it has basic information that we need to get the contracting process started. Then I guess Eric is going to show me later this week or today or whatever how to enter you in the system, and you will start the contracting process. And once all that's completed, then we'll kick you over to Sherilyn and get her to set up the site for it, because you definitely do want this site. It will make your life 110,000 times easier. So thanks for you guys for being on and explaining some of this so that we don't have to explain it over and over again. We're going to be sending this out to everybody and recording. Say hi to Dwayne. He is my main man out there. Been a long time, Dwayne Owings. Anyway, I hope that you guys will join us in this happy, fun thing. Remember, we're making insurance fun again, right, Sherilyn? MIFA, make insurance fun again. This is my mantra for this 2024. Thank you, Eric, for introducing us to this, and we will talk soon. Take
sounds
care.
good. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Take care.
Bye bye.